So many young men nowadays are choosing pleasure over growth. Whenever they try to do some work, they can't seem to focus. They just keep on distracting themselves. And once they start work, the time goes by so slowly. If only there was a way we could fix this. Do you want to outwork others? Be bored. If you were locked in your room with an educational book and your phone, you would naturally gravitate to your phone because it's just more fun, right? If you try to force yourself to read the book, you will probably stop after some time and go on your phone again because reading the book is not stimulating enough and it is uncomfortable. It's boring to read, right? Especially if you aren't very far on your self-improvement journey. This is because when you get the choice between the phone and the book, the phone provides you with more pleasure, and our brains are made to always seek comfort and pleasure because back in the day, things that were comfortable and pleasurable were good for us. So our brains were conditioned to seek these comfortable and pleasurable things. But then these evil businessmen started taking advantage of this and developed apps that manipulate these desires of ours to make us more addicted to their platforms. There is a reason why the CEOs of these social media companies don't allow their kids to go on their apps. And so now we agree that the phone is obviously much more pleasurable than the book. But what if there was no phone and you were just locked in your room with only the book? Well, then it would be different, right? Reading the book would be much more pleasurable than just sitting there in silence. So if you give yourself no other option but read, work, or whatever it is you are trying to do, just these hard things you don't like doing that will get you success in life, you will obviously outwork everyone else. If you simply lock yourself in your room with nothing but the thing you need to do, you will start doing it because it's much better than just sitting in silence. There was actually a study on this. Social psychologist Timothy Wilson conducted a study where he placed volunteers in an empty room with nothing but a button, which if they pressed, they would get an electric shock. And after around 15 minutes of sitting in complete silence and boredom, 67% of males and 25% of females chose to willingly electrocute themselves over doing nothing. And some participants even chose to press the button multiple times. It is also worth pointing out that the volunteers had previously stated that they would be willing to pay money to not get shocked. And this shows that for most people, almost anything is better than boredom. So if you lock yourself in a room with nothing but your work, you will eventually start doing it because the only choice you have is between doing the work or doing nothing. You will choose to do your work because it is better than boredom. You will also find the work far more entertaining and stimulating than it otherwise would have been if you had other options where you could direct your attention. A simple task like checking your emails for 30 seconds in the middle of a work block puts your mind in a more distracted state for up to 30 minutes after. The ability to perform deep work is becoming increasingly valuable in our modern world with everyone being so distracted. Because of this, the few people in the world who have this skill will be successful. If you can work undisturbed in a complete flow state, you will never have to worry about money. On the other hand, the vast majority of the population is constantly overstimulated, which disables their ability to work deeply, which means they live a nihilistic lifestyle, always chasing the next pleasure without being able to stop, and suffer when they have to do something that is not as pleasurable. They live a life directed by impulsivity rather than intentionality. All of man's problems arise because he can't sit with himself in a room for 30 minutes alone. Do you think anything great in history would have happened if everyone had iPhones back then? Do you think Napoleon, Alexander the Great, or Genghis Khan would have gone on to conquer almost the entire world if they had TikTok and Minecraft at home? Do you think Christopher Columbus would have gone on his voyage to discover America if he had porn at home? Obviously not, right? Nothing great happens when you are overstimulated and comfortable, so be bored. Alright, that's it for today. Go click on the subscribe button, share this video with a friend who needs to hear it. Go join the Wisdom Clan with the first link in the description, and go do something productive now. Bye.